Welcome to Holywood, a charming town nestled along the picturesque shores of Belfast Lough. Join us as we embark on a journey to uncover the rich tapestry of history that defines this beautiful place. Our story begins over 1,000 years ago when the Vikings sailed these waters and established a settlement here known as Hólar, which would later evolve into Holywood and today Holywood. In the words of M. Kirtland in 1837, Holywood is a small village in which there are some good houses, many gentlemen's seats of manor houses and plantations spread out across the parish shoreline. It is prettily situated, having an extensive view of the Antrim coast, and provides a desirable residence for bathers in the summer months. First up is the Old Priory. An ancient church was presided over by St. Lesrin in 642. There is much debate over the original site of this ancient church, the parish being ravaged by the Vikings during the 10th century. In the 12th century, the Normans left an indelible mark on Holywood. We next find mention of a Franciscan monastery which was built in the same site in the year 1200. 10 years later, King John passed through the little town, and a roll is still preserved in the Tower of London which tells us of that day he spent in Holywood. By the 16th century, the priory was dissolved on New Year's Day 1541 by Henry VIII. Later on, Brian O'Neill came down upon Holywood in the year 1572, and he burnt the church and destroyed all he could lay his hands on. In subsequent years, the town passed on to Sir James Hamilton's possession in the year of 1606, and a few years later he built another church and used part of the ruins of the old one. In the early 1600s, the priory became the place of burial for Scottish families that had settled in the area. Several of the Hamiltons, kinsmen of Sir James Hamilton, were interred there, including his younger brother William, who was creditably buried, and with great lamentation, in the 1620s. In 1644, the Solemn League and Covenant was signed by the local Ulster Scots population here. A copy of it is on display at the Ulster Museum in Belfast. Yes, indeed. The first Holywood Presbyterian church has a history dating back to the 17th century. Founded in 1615 when the Reverend Robert Cunningham, originally from Ayrshire, was invited by Sir James Hamilton to preach in the church, which had been rebuilt in the ruins of the old Norman Priory. The Reverend Cunningham was minister for 21 years until he was deposed by Bishop Henry Leslie, who had disdain for the Presbyterian preaching of the gospel, and so he returned to Scotland in 1636. In 1841, the congregation moved to the present building on the Bangor Road opposite the Old Priory, which at that time was still used by the parish church. Now let us meander our way along the High Street, a place of both buildings of antiquity and contemporary boutique shops. First up, we are presented by the famous Maypole bar. It was owned by Ned Carty of the Star and Garter, who then opened the Maypole, which still stands to this very day. Echoes of "Last orders please," "Time gentlemen please," and if you are really having a good time, "Have you no homes to go to?" call from its past. The Holywood Maypole has been a fixture at the crossroads in the centre of the town for centuries and is the focus of May Day celebrations. According to local folklore, the Maypole dates back to the 1700s, when the crew of a Dutch ship who ran aground in Holywood erected the broken mast as a means of thanking the townsfolk for their rescue and assistance. The last pole was brought down by a storm in 2021, and much to the delight of the residents, a new one was swiftly erected in its place. It is possible that Holywood's famous Maypole in fact originated as a typical Scottish market cross, as shown in miniature on Thomas Raven's map of 1625. A dispensary was established in 1814, opening every Wednesday and Saturday, supported by subscriptions by the surgeon R.O. McKittrick. His medical achievements were substantial. Of a total number of patients in 1 year, 1,032, he cured 1,020. These were from such ailments as measles, jaundice, hysterics, rheumatism, whooping cough, lung inflammation and consumption. An amazing feat so drastically compared to today's modern pharmacy that merely treats symptoms yet provides no cures. Here is the first Presbyterian non-subscription church, founded in 1704, and the current building finished in 1849. It is called non-subscribing as the congregation opted out of any man, whether he be king or bishop of the Church of Ireland, adding to or taking away a man's personal biblical relationship with God by means of enforced charter. Before the coming of the railway, Holywood was little more than a fishing village. However, the opening of the Belfast County Down Railway on the 4th of August 1848 heralded a significant increase in the town's population. By 1855, the first Presbyterian church was starting to become overcrowded, so the heads of the 52 families sought permission from the Belfast Presbytery to open a second Presbyterian congregation. Permission having been granted, the new congregation, called Second Holywood, started meeting in a small mission hall. The grounds on the south side of High Street, where the present church stands, was bought in 1857. A row of old buildings fronting the street was removed, and work began in May of that year. It was opened for worship in February 1858. Here we have Holywood Library. Holywood Library, a listed building, was founded as a primary and secondary school in the 1860s, formerly known as the Sullivan Schools. It was here that the renowned 20th century naturalist and historian Robert Lloyd Prager and his sister Sophia Roseman, a notable sculptor, began their education. Several of the Prager family graves can be found in the Priory. Represented here by St. Columb Killay's Roman Catholic Chapel. In 1866, Holywood became a parish in its own right. The foundation stone for the original church was brought from the ruins of the church in Garton, County Donegal, where St. Columb Killay was born, and it was laid on Sunday, 1872. This church served the people of Holywood for the next 115 years. However, in the early hours of August 1989, the church was destroyed by fire. The spire and the bell tower from the original church were restored, and a new church, standing at the main entrance to the town, was solemnly dedicated in 1995. Here we have a memorial to Lieutenant Colonel T.V.P. McCammon, Royal Irish Regiment, the 19th century McCammon Masonic Hall. The 20th century brought its own set of challenges and triumphs to Holywood, from the impacts of world wars to the growth of a vibrant community. The town adapted and thrived, becoming a cherished place for residents and visitors alike. Come and visit and see for yourself.
Well, the sun sinks low on the golden sky. Shadows lengthen as the day